Hello everyone, welcome to another video for the DSAT channel. In this video we are going to talk about the seasonal analysis, how we are going to use seasonal analysis in the DSAT, how we're going to make a file, and what various factors we can look. So basically how we are going to do seasonal analysis in the DSAT and what are the requirements we need for it. So let's start with a briefly 1 minute introduction about the seasonal analysis. So first of all, we need to know about what we need to know that what we want, what we should have in order to run the seasonal analysis. First of all, we need 30 years of historical weather data, our soil file, cultivar genetic coefficient, and management practices. So like all these things which are generally required for making a simple X file, but here we need a 30 years, minimum 30 years of historical weather data. And what can you simulate from this? So basically seasons weathers is usually next season weather is uncertain, so variability in historical weather data is assumed to describe uncertainty in the next season's weather. So experiment basically is run by specifying a possible management system over a number of prior years of weather data, then the distribution of yield and other outputs. So we can how we can convert the uncertainty in weather into uncertainty in yield for a specific management. For example, let's talk about the variability in rainfall is a major source of variability, and the other one is the temperature. So especially for the rain-fed agriculture. Now how if we forecast the season type wet or dry, which allows farmers to adjust its crop management practices. So in this way the farmer would have a more knowledge about his less risk and more yield. Similarly, if from season analysis we can also simulate various sowing date effect, that which sowing date would have a more effect on our yield and what is the best suitable. So we can recommend on these analysis, we can recommend that this window time frame for sowing date is the better to generate better yield. And then so these basically these variability tell us that how we are going to enable producer to optimize management strategies and how these computer models simulate management practices. So let's start our video of making how we are going to make a seasonal analysis file. I'm going to make a general assumption about the peanut here. So let's start. First you should have a new version of DSAT 4.8.2. click on the crop management data. So then click on file, click on new, and then a window will appear where you have to click close, and then this window will appear in front of you. So from experimental file type you have to select seasonal. Experiment name, I'm going to so let's say this is University of Florida, site code just say CI etc. Year I'm going to use is 1990 year. From 1992 we can say 2020. Experiment number 1, people, Hogenbaum. Address, you can add your address, your site, any specific information about the site, but you can add here. So then we click on the fields. So let's say the field is our UFCI. So we should use 8 characters. So let's say it's starting from the, I'm saying this is my first file 01 and it's starting from 90. So soil, here I have already built a soil profile. So I'm going to look for it. So this was my soil profile. So, and then you can see here that this was my soil file code. And if you don't know about how to make a soil profile, then you can look into the previous videos where I have mentioned about it. So for the weather, I am going to use I have already made a weather file from let me search about this and see FRC. So here you can see which weather files it already have. So let's see, I have to look for my weather file. I have to look for my weather file, so it's taking a bit long for me. So this is my weather file, PSRU. That is a weather station here. So this is my basically a weather file here. So you can see here, click here, but you can see that this represents the University of Florida. This is the Citra location which I am currently using right now. So this is my code, and this contains the 30 years of weather data starting from 1990, and then it ends. It contains actually, you can say, until 2020. So I have already told you that how you can read this code, like UFCI is your code, and 20 means the year 2020, and the 01 means that this only contains one weather file. So if you click just here, then it would be okay. Then just click OK here, then click on initial conditions. So this measurement date, let's say the measurement date is 05. First is the month, so previous crop, let's say I'm taking example of maize here. Let's say it was a maize and the crop residue was let's say the crop residue was about 1000. So what was the nitrogen percentage? Let's say 0.8 in the residue. Well, these are just assumptions. So how much I incorporated? 100%. And what was the depth for incorporation? 10. Then you can just select OK, and then you have to select your soil analysis. I've already set my soil analysis. So let's say a cultivar. So I'm talking about here peanut. Click on peanut. So this will come a list of the, let's say I'm going to use Georgia green. Planting date. So my planting date is, let's say, so emergence date, if you have, you can add it. planting method, dry seed, planting distribution, rows. What for my plant population at seeding, let's say 20, and emergence was 16. Row spacing is 91 centimeter, let's say 0. Planting depth was around 5 or 7 centimeter. Press OK. Then come to simulation date. So the simulation start date, it should be 1 day prior to the date of planting. So my date of planting was 3rd of May. Let's say it's 2nd of May. So you can see here it's already been showing you 30 years, but you can change minimum required weather data is 30 years. So yes, plant nitrogen yes, symbiosis yes, because it's a legume crop. Otherwise you can click it, you can select no, and the remaining factor you don't have to change anyone. Potassium no, phosphorus, chemicals no, disease, use default value of CO2. What are my methods? So I have my basically measured data with me. If you don't have, like, let's suppose you have 20 years of previous weather data, then you can use the simulated internal WGen feature, which allows you to generate weather data for the next 10 years also. But I have already measured data with me, which I have made a weather file for it. Let's click measure data as reported, and you don't have to change any thing here. Series, Richie series, everything okay, looks okay. So let's click on the management option, planting date on reported date, irrigation. So now I'm going to change one thing here, that I'm going to make two files. Let's say the one is the rain fed and the other one is the irrigated. So let's say for the first one I'm going to say irrigated on reported dates. I have to give the dates for that fertilizer on reported dates, harvest at maturity, output. You can see if you want you can change. Now let's check here about the frequency of output days 10, experimental file, growth details, you don't want to look at those details. Overview, you can select yes, it doesn't going to make any change. So minimum output, so then press OK here. So let's go to the treatment, and then I'm going to add my irrigation. So let's say the irrigation efficiency is 0.75. so on the first day I'm going to give it 13 millimeter. Operation was, let's say, furrow, and then I'm going to add one more. So this was like on the next day it was, so let's say it was 5th, but this should be the planting date was 3rd of May. So similarly I'm going to add more application in it. So for this time being I'm going to add only 3 applications, but for a proper file you have to add your proper applications of water and everything. And then click on the fertilizer. Let's say the fertilizer was added on after 1 day of planting. It should be PK, urea. So you have to select which option. So broadcast, not broadcast, incorporated, let's say depth 5. So let's say depth is 5. This was about 28 kg. So just click here. Okay. So similarly, if there is for any tillage application, you can change the tillage application, but I'm going to make a more simpler case here. for so let's say we are going to add now one more level here. This one I'm going to say this one is irrigated, and this one was rain fed. So what I'm going to change in the second option is this, that I'm going to change management. So everything is going to be remain same, not irrigated, fertilizer on reported dates, everything. So I'm going to basically compare those two, which are going to give me more yield according to considering if you consider the climate variability. And similarly, you can make more changes here. You can make more comparison by looking at different planting date, by you can make a more levels for planting date, and then you can look at those files. So let's go to the treatment, add. So this one is a rain fed. So just click this, like this one has a rain fed, sorry, the first one is irrigated. So for irrigation I'm going to use this one, fertilizer is both. And similarly, you can also go for the like multiple crops, like you can run the multiple crops for the seasonal analysis. So harvest, press OK. So click on save. So just refresh it once and click on the applications, seasonal. So we can see which factor we are going to basically use. So just I'm going to refresh it once again. So you can look here, this one, this file I have made season analysis for peanut. I'm going to run it, run model, press OK, analysis. So now in this case a new window will appear in front of you, in which you can see about the summary for this one. So press OK, press save, and then here you can look at the different factors. For example, the harvested yield, click on harvested yield, view summary data. So you have mean, standard deviation and minimum. And similarly you can also plot box plot here. Let's say which one has giving the more yield, cumulative function, mean variance plot. So, and also you can look at the different factors for it. For example, the irrigation application, different for each one. You can look at like how much nitrogen was leached and how much nitrogen was uptake, net nitrogen mineralization, and everything you can see here. So basically it gives us, provides us, if you click on the economic, which shows you like, so you click on save here. So basically this economic is also estimated using the cost of inputs and everything. So you can also click and plot like which one is having a more effect on having a yield, and similarly mean variance plot, which one having a like less variance and less mean, having a more variance. This one rainfed having a more variance and more money per hectare. So if you click this option, the second one option here, just click on here. So you can change here basically the main prices. Like let's say our grain price is minimum according to the current rate is 360, and then this one is the base production cost mean, which include all the costs like labor, fertilizer, application, the fuel cost. You can make a base production cost here, the fertilizer cost here, so, and the irrigation cost. So you can change irrigation cost here. Let's say I'm going to change for irrigated, and I'm going to say, let's say is going to increase it to 1.5, then click OK, save changes, save. And then if I look at the box plots, let's say the mean variance plot, which says like still it's having a more effect. So you can also generate economic report here for you. And if you click on this one, so this one will show you the basically the main costs of your file. So in this way, just you will get a brief idea of your economic analysis. Just click on the strategy analysis. This means that which one is a more efficient. So it will tell you, like using the mean return and Gini coefficient, it will tell you that the rain-fed is a more efficient as compared to the irrigated one. So in this way, if you click on close, you can also look on your have a look on your the overview file or summary file. If you click on if you select yes, then it will show your overview file also here. So for right now, I'm going to show you the summary file, this one. Click on view. So this you can see all the summary details, like which was the harvesting year, this is the dry weight, harvested weight at maturity, harvested weight at harvest, biomass, and then the fresh weight, water, how much irrigation. As you remember, then I have applied only 3 application number of applications. So what was the amount of rain during that period? And similarly, if you don't know about these codes, you can just click on the DSAT and you can click on codes. This will tell you all the information about which code represents which factor. Nitrogen application was only 1, and what was the amount of nitrogen applied and how much was leach mineralization, nitrogen uptake by the plant. And then similarly for phosphorus and potassium, it's not showing any more, not any showing outputs. Similarly for organic matter, what was the organic matter, what CO2 emissions, methane emissions from the soil, nitrogen productivity, and seasonal environmental data. So in this way, similarly you can do also many other things with this one. So I hope you like the video, and once if you have any questions and queries about your file, about any issue or any error you are facing right in the DSAT, so I recommend you to please go on to the DSAT homepage, and then you will see here contact us. If you click contact us, and then you have to provide your name, your email, and the general question or any technical issue or problem you are facing right in the DSAT during running your simulations, making your file or anything. And then you can paste your message here. Either you want to post it as a public, or you want to just post it to the website, or then our expert, you will get feedback from the experts. By if they need something more information about, then they will ask you for more information, and then you can submit. So it's a better platform to contact and to support the transfer of knowledge and different factors. Maybe if you are facing in any issues, then the other guys will have more information from your question. So similarly, if you look at the seasonal analysis, then you can see that they have also done the different planting date, different irrigation, and different management for fertilizer, for everything. So this management factor, basically how you are going to focus on your management factors using the past historical events, weather data. So just to improve your so reduce your risk analysis, you can do your risk analysis, you can increase the yield, you can also increase your economic benefits. So what management factors like irrigation amount, fertilizer amount, chemical application date, planting date, crop selection, cultivar or variety selection, and other inputs. So if you like, please like and subscribe and share this video with other agronomists and crop modelers. So good luck. Thank you so much for watching the video.